Murder. It's a funny old thing. A few hours ago, I witnessed a horrible and brutal murder. I was on an Amtrak train traveling from New York to Boston when... Now, I know you're probably thinking, wow, I was really slumming it traveling on Amtrak. Now, that would normally be true, but I was in first class, so it was tolerable. Anyway, I was on the train when suddenly it derailed. Scary, but sort of expected. It's Amtrak after all. In the commotion, a woman was murdered. But you know what? None of that matters. In the end, we all die, and the woman was pretty boring, so who cares about one woman? Murder is complex. Murder is interesting. It makes me want to say, what is murder? Deep down, what does murder want to be? Oh, no, it's just, thinking out loud.
Okay. Excuse me.
I'm bored.
Honey, you're always bored.
Yes, but I'm still bored.
Where's the detective? Why am I being held here for hours with a bunch of people I barely know?
Who are the witnesses? Still, I don't see why he doesn't just call us back some other time.
I have a funeral to get to. And, more importantly, I have a grave to dig up.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, my sister died. She said she died, but I know she didn't. She is a rotten scum of the earth, and I am going to prove her grave is empty.
Okay. This whole situation is so weird. Obviously, the murder was sad and all, but right now they're treating us in a very funny way. It's almost like we're being held here. I'm ready. You may enter. Please sit down. Welcome. As you know, Jackie Parks was killed around 11:22 a.m. today on board the Northeast Regional Express train heading from New York to Boston. She was killed by cyanide being slipped into the bottled water. Now, Jackie Parks was 32 years old. She worked in the film industry, directing small films and documentaries. She also ran an online blog where she'd review movies. But she had a decent Twitter following, around 5,000. Facebook friends have already begun posting moderate sympathy for her on her Facebook. Now, according to her family, she was headed to Boston to film a scene from her latest election, a pro-Clinton election recap. Now, those are the facts. The true, unassailable facts.
Good, she was filming an election documentary. If there's anything we want to do with this election, it's to relive it.
Look, this is sad and all, and she seems nice, and it's definitely sad that we have one less vote for Hill. I'm with her. But why are we being held here? I have an audition tomorrow.
I'm afraid things are a bit more dire than you may realize. You see, I'm convinced that Jackie Parks was killed by someone in this very room. You were all suspects.
That is
I'm determined to solve this case by the end of today. Hopefully, you won't have to be here much longer.
Are you certain that one of us did it? The train is full of passengers. Any one of them could have slipped inside the car and done away with Jackie.
Jesus Christ. But then we would have seen them inside the train, no? Well, you see, I have my own theories, but I need proof. I need a motive. That's the most important part of any case. I'm going to call each of you in here individually and ask you questions. Well, you all have different backgrounds. We have in here a banker, an actor, a murder mystery author, a conductor, a Wesleyan student.
Actually, it's Wesleyan. We're very pretentious over here.
Oh, Wesleyan student.
Yeah.
And a retirement. It should prove to be a very interesting case. Now, I'm sure you all remember what was happening on the train right beforehand, but please allow me to review it for you.
Honeysuckle, you're always bored.
No, I'm not. Half the time I'm sleeping.
Don't you have your monologue to rehearse for tomorrow? You could do
I
that.
don't want to, it's boring.
There's a shocker.
Excuse me, I couldn't help it over here, but why don't you just read a book?
Who even reads books anymore?
I write books.
Yes, but I bet you don't read them.
What?
Anyway, I don't read books. I have this theory that books are trying to destroy humanity by suffocating everyone with their dust jackets because the dust jackets have grown lonely.
I wrote a short film in college with essentially that same plot line, but as a farce.
What's a farce?
A tragic farce. The dust jackets sang Into the Woods they sang Agony from Into the Woods, which was really funny, but the deaths themselves were sad and devastated lives. It was a great film.
Did someone mention murders? I love murders.
You're a man after my own heart. Do you write murder mysteries as well?
No, I solve them. I'm a detective.
Well, that's great. I hope there's no work needed for you on this train ride.
I'm sure murder doesn't just follow him around.
You know, I was thinking about that exact same thing yesterday, and I realized the last 10 train rides I've been on have had a murder in the same character as me. It's really very weird.
I'm sorry, what now?
Well, it's certainly weird, but I don't think it's a pattern to it or anything.
How?
I sure hope this train ride is over quickly.
Really? You're in a hurry to get to Boston? I think you're probably the only one in the world.
Yeah, like I say, Boston is like if God took a shit and called it a city.
You know, that's how I feel about my nephew. Oh, he has constant bad breath. He's a very rude sort of person. Whenever we see each other, he throws me to the ground. He brings shame to the Perry Bottom name.
Your last name is Perry Bottom? God.
Oh, great, isn't it? The family actually has a fascinating history. Yes, in 1627, Mildred Perrybottom was leaving his house one day when he saw a great square.
Glad we got to hear. Good for you.
Anyway, yes, Beantown sucks.
Why is Boston called Beantown anyway?
They're the largest purchaser of Beanie Babies in the world.
Really?
I made that up.
Conductor? Conductor? Conductor!
Yes, ma'am.
I'm hungry. Do you have any food?
Unfortunately, no. We're all out. We are stopping in New Haven in 30 minutes, however, so you could get something there.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Have a pleasant trip.
Holy shit!
What the fuck just happened?
I think we crashed.
No, really?
God, I can't believe that just happened to me.
This also happened on our last train rides.
I sincerely apologize for what just happened. Is everyone here okay?
I'm fine.
I'm wonderful. I'm shaken, but not stirred. Worth a try, though, right?
We're good.
What about you, Jackie, I think? Jackie? Jackie! Hello? So I later discovered the cyanide had been slipped into her bottled water during the train ride, but before the train derailed. And that's how the murder was committed.
Why did you bother regurgitating the conversations that took place before the murder? That seems like a slight waste of time.
Surely you can't think I murdered Miss Parks. I've been working with Amtrak for years, and my record is spotless.
Well, sure, if you'd never committed a murder before, you wouldn't be here, presumably.
I'm afraid everyone is under suspicion, Mr. Pierce. Even you.
Excuse me, but why don't you just check the security cameras? These Amtrak trains are relatively modern. They must have cameras.
The thought had crossed my mind to Miss
Banks. Sylvia Banks.
Miss Banks. Well, the cameras were the first things I thought to check. But all of the footage from today's train ride has been deleted. Our murder was very thorough. It's clear what we are dealing with is a very carefully planned murder.
So how exactly is this investigation going to work?
I'm going to call each of you in here individually and interview you. Well, I will create an impenetrable wall of facts. By the end, I will have solved the case.
God, you're confident in yourself.
Yeah, next thing he's gonna be doing is smoking a pipe and telling us we all killed her. Which, I'd like to make clear, we didn't.
Yes, I agree. We did not kill her.
This is no laughing matter. We must bring Jackie Parks justice.
I agree the passengers could conduct our own interrogation. interrogation. Surely our collective brains can crack this little case.
You can do as you like, but let me tell you, people are morons. I don't think you'll be solving this one without me.
Well, you may be right, but I'm a little hungry.
Sorry?
Well, I didn't get anything to eat on the train, and that was hours ago. I'm absolutely famished.
Actually, that's a good point. I'd like something to eat as well.
Put my name down too.
Put your name down. For what?
That's what he said.
You'll have to be a tad more specific.
A munchie, a tidbit.
An hors d'oeuvre.
An
A
antipasto.
canapé?
Just a little bit of food.
This is a police station. All we have here is handcuffs, printer ink, dandruff, and sweat. Yum yum. I'd like to get back to my investigation.
That's hardly fair.
You keep us here for hours, and you won't even give us a little dip, some pita chips and hummus. Baba Ganoush, we are in New Haven. There is a great Baba Ganoush store just up in Hartford.
Not one tiny scrap, one morsel. We're going to starve! Imagine me, a spring chicken of 78 going on 79, starving due to an inability to acquire a small bruschetta. What a way to go!
I know you're used to dealing with dead people, but we're still alive. We need food. Just a small morsel will do.
Out! Everyone get out! You think there's a vending machine in the waiting room? Might not serve macaroons or wasabi shrimp on a rice cracker with avocado, but it'll serve you potato chips to your heart's content. Get out!
Totally good there.
I said good day, sir!
Even from you,
Now we can begin, my sweet.
I'm sorry, dear. I didn't mean to hurt you. It's just that Gertrude really would like her teddygrams. And she did pay you for them. $1.50. Which Gertrude thought was a little bit way too much to ask for a 1-ounce bag of slightly sweetened cardboard, but she paid you anyway.
Gertrude, would you like some help with that vending machine?
Oh, my darling, you are a kind soul. Yes, I would. Thank you.
My pleasure. I think it's broken.
But I'm so hungry now!
Well, I'm sorry. We'll just have to wait until Robert is done interrogating each and every one of us.
That could be ours. This day is not one of my better ones.
Well, no, I don't think it's a good day for any one of us.
Right you are. Right you are. You are a smart one. I can sense it.
Thank you.
Goodbye, Teddy. Grandma. We Perry Bottoms. Never forget.
that poster with that slogan, if you see something, say something. What's it doing here?
What do you mean?
Isn't that a Homeland Security slogan?
Yes, that is rather odd. Also, what would it be doing in a police station? Unless anyone brought here would be somewhat under suspicion, sort of defeats the purpose.
Now that you mention it, the detective's office also had a strange poster. Reduce, reuse, recycle? Now, what's the point of having that in a police station? I mean, yes, we should all recycle, but don't police officers have more important things to focus on?
Two strange posters. Could be a coincidence, could be a theme.
Maybe the posters have something to do with the murder.
Really?
Yes, and what if the murderer needed a safe place to hide the murder tools, but they didn't have one, so they just dug a hole in the wall and then went to a nearby TSA garage sale, which
just happened to have a package deal on a few posters, so they got a few and brought them back here to cover up the walls. It's genius.
There's no need for that.
Really? Because you just wasted minutes of my life. Minutes I could have been spending trying to solve this murder.
Ugh, you're still caught up on that crap? Let the detective figure it out. His ego needs it.
Look, what's the point of sitting on our asses waiting for Robert to conjure up an answer? I say we give it a try ourselves. It certainly can't hurt to try.
I said you were a smart one.
Well, where do you suggest we start?
Look, we've got this excellent opportunity. Nearly all of us are in the room together. We could conduct our own interrogation, interview each other, solve the case. Don't you agree, Tony? Tony? Are you even listening to me, Tony?
Oh, sorry, I was reading.
I was talking.
I can see that now, I'm sorry. I just didn't realize the serious relationship problems Vanessa Hudgens and Zac Efron were having a few years back.
Aren't they super relevant now? Isn't that whole High School Musical franchise totally irrelevant now?
No way! It's awesome. There's a production of it next week at Wesley. You should all come.
No.
I guess Donald Trump is basically Sharpay.
I'm not normally the sort of person who reads this kind of magazine, but this old issue was sitting right there and I thought, okay, I'll read OK Magazine. And it was going on and on about the relationship problems.
I can think of someone else who's about to have relationship problems.
My granddaughter, Petunia Perrybottom, oh, she had such a crush on that Zachary Efron. But who could blame her? I'd fuck him in a heartbeat.
Okay.
Really? I wouldn't say no, but I'm more of an Oscar Isaac kind of guy.
Hey, fucking man.
This is hardly relevant.
I agree, I'm just saying, now I know why they broke up. Oh well, we can move on.
Well, they certainly have. Vanessa is happily dating another hottie with a body, and Zach is just
Hopefully gay, at the very least bisexual.
Sure.
Movie idea. High School Musical, but where Troy and Gabriella love each other so much and have to battle to keep their love alive so much that they end up destroying the earth until it looks like the world from Mad Max, and they rampage it together for all eternity. We're all in this together.
Great! Glad we got that sorted. Now, if we could please return to discussing the murder that took place just a few feet away from us.
Sure, honey.
Thank you. That was like pulling teeth. As I said, I propose we all interrogate each other.
So, who should we start with?
Gertrude! As a murder mystery author, I think I have a special sense when it comes to these things. And I definitely feel something about Gertrude.
Oh dear, so did my late husband.
Maybe. But I think it would be best if we talk to Will.
Really?
Yes, you're the conductor, the working class. You know every little detail that occurs on board the train. The train is your domain. You know that there is more to be seen than can ever be seen. More to do.
Honey, you're quoting The Lion King again.
So I am. The facts are the same, though. You know every little detail that occurs on board, and every little detail counts.
Oh, you're so hot when you go all Sherlock Holmes.
Settle down, Watson.
Ooh.
Now we can begin. Mr. Pierce. Please sit down. So, Mr. Pierce.
Call me Will.
Will, you mentioned you've been working with Amtrak for years now. How many, to be precise?
About 3.
All right, would you mind describing your workday from the beginning for me?
I arrived at the station at about 10 a.m. At that point, I had some cleaning duties, so I went around the cars tidying up after the last passengers.
And which cars are under your supervision?
The first 3.
All right, what'd you find while you were cleaning?
Not much. Candy wrappers, tissues, potato chip bags, water bottles.
Anything unusual?
No. Actually, sort of. The water bottles were mostly untouched. There was a problem on the last train ride where someone got sick after drinking the water, so we advised the passengers to discard their bottles.
And after cleaning?
Then I stepped outside the train to welcome the passengers aboard.
Now, did everybody who went on the train stay there for the entire trip?
I'm fairly certain of that. This train ride wasn't too full, and I can remember faces easily.
What happened next?
Then I just went through the cars, doing my duties, scanning tickets.
Sorry, are seats assigned?
Only in your car, since it's the first class cabin.
And after scanning tickets?
Then I went to the fourth car, the dining car, and got some bottles of water to distribute to the passengers.
And I assume everything went fine.
Yes.
Alright, what happened next?
At that point, it was about lunchtime, so the two other conductors and I went to the dining car and ate lunch together.
But now what would happen if a passenger needed a conductor while you're having lunch?
They can cry me a river.
Excellent.
They can press a button on their seats. It pings us that they need our assistance. Have you ever been on a train before?
Were you ever called away at any point?
Only once. Miss Perrybottom wanted some food, so she called.
And then?
Then we derailed.
Interesting.
What?
Nothing. Now, would the other conductors ever have had any reason to go into one of your trains?
No, that's not something we ever really do.
All right. Mind if I search your bag?
Please do.
That should be all for now. Thank you. It's been most informative.
So you're quite certain no one else could have slipped inside the car and murdered Jackie?
I can't say for certain, but I think I agree with the detective on that matter. I mean, there's one first class cabin. You were all in the first class cabin, and there aren't a whole lot of people in it. There would have been no reason for anyone else to walk through the car. It would have been extremely risky.
And committing a murder isn't?
Well, that's fair. But there are a lot of witnesses in this case. Did anyone here see anything suspicious?
Good point. I didn't see anyone unusual.
Same.
I don't like to think of any one person as unusual. Everyone is special in their own little way.
Anyone suspicious?
No, not really.
Does anyone else want to ask Will a question?
Oh, I do. You brought your suitcase into the detective's office? Why, exactly?
You wanted to search it.
Do you think he'll do that for everyone?
I'm sure. Why?
Well, it's just that I have some personal items in my bag. But the detective is a smart man, a mature man. I'm sure he won't mind.
Now I'm very curious to see what you have in your bag.
Curiosity killed the cat.
I bet she has a dead cat in there.
Oh, heavens no! I'll be doing that next week when I bury dear Mittens Perrybottom, his grave in Petaluma. It was where I bought his first litter box.
Your cat's already dead, but you're transporting the body next week? What have you done with the body?
Oh, Mittens died a month ago. But I was waiting to buy a first-class ticket on seat 1A of Virgin America. It's the only seat that I can stand, and the only available spot was for next week. But don't you worry about Mittens' little body. It's crammed in the freezer, encased in bubble wrap. It's all very economical. Ha ha!
If we could get back to Will.
Now, this reminds me of the plot of one of my first novels. There's this old man in an old house who has an old cat and drives around in an Oldsmobile.
I'm sensing a theme.
One day, the man disappears. Completely vanishes. There's no trace of him. After a few days, his neighbors realize he's just gone. The only thing he left behind was that old cat. And so the neighbors, who believe in witchcraft, by the way, take the old cat into the town square at midnight and begin a prayer chant. They speak to the cat and ask him where his old master went. And the cat speaks back. He says, I ate my master. I was hungry. The townsfolk are horrified, of course. And so they sacrifice the cat right then and there and eat it for supper. And they all live happily ever after.
That's an incredibly random and improbable story.
I know, I was going through my hackneyed phase. I'm far better now.
Great! Wonderful for you. Now, if we could please get back to our interrogation.
Of course, go right ahead.
Thank you. So, Will, what was the strangest event that occurred on board the train?
That'd have to be the murder. Aside from that, well, it wasn't really unusual, but people did get up to go to the bathroom during the train. Someone could have slipped the cyanide in then. Or there was a time where Gertrude called me to the train. Plenty of distraction then.
Wouldn't that be a little obvious?
What do you mean?
These murder mysteries are never that simple.
That's definitely a valid point. In one of my favorite Agatha Christie novels, a woman on a plane is murdered by a dart. A blowpipe is planted on another person on the plane to make it look like they committed the murder, but the murderer didn't even use a blowpipe. It was a complete red herring. They just walked alongside the woman and jammed the dart in her neck. Oh, and then a bee was released in the cabin as further distraction so that people would initially think that the bee had killed the woman.
Again, that's not a great plot.
Oh, I know. I said it was a favorite of mine. I didn't say it was a very good one.
I would like to remind you all that this isn't an Agatha Christie book. This is an actual, proper murder. Maybe there are red herrings, maybe there aren't, but we can't rule out the bathroom breaks or Gertrude screeching just because Agatha Christie wouldn't write it that way, okay?
I completely agree. In fact, the more we speak about it, the more I'm certain. The button I used to call the conductor committed the crime! The public gets bored and lonely living on a train its whole life.
Glad you agree, Gertrude.
But I also think dearest Sylvia may have a point. This could be very much like an Agatha Christie novel. And I should know. My aunt was Agatha Christie herself.
Wait, what?
That's really cool. I was telling you, the Perry Bottoms have an extensive family tree spanning the whole world, from the northernmost Northern Irish to the richest London socialites. And Agatha was just another member of the family. Of course, she hated the Perry Bottom portion of the family, so she didn't use the name. Now, this is because of some minor
Please,
killings that
forget I
occurred.
asked. Forget I asked. Bobby, to answer your question, overall the journey was trouble-free until the end. Nothing really stood out as alarming.
Thank you, this took way longer than it should have. And I definitely did go to the bathroom early on in the train ride, and I was gone for about, I don't know, what would you say?
Oh, 2 or 3 minutes, at most.
Right. And then I came back, and we discussed his upcoming audition.
In audition?
Yeah, with the Boston Playwright Company. They're putting on a production of Hamlet and they requested I audition.
It's a huge opportunity, so we jumped at the chance to go up to Boston. I'm very proud of him.
I keep telling him it means very little right now. It's just an audition.
But they asked to see you. It is big.
Whatever. However, it would mean that we spend some time apart and we haven't really discussed what that means yet.
Only because you keep avoiding the subject.
Only because I don't have the part yet.
This is an argument we've been having for a few weeks.
I hope it doesn't look odd that both of us went to the bathroom around the same time.
Why would that be odd? It's not like we synced our bathroom schedules or anything. We both just had to go.
I guess.
How long were you gone?
Oh, 5 and a bit minutes.
And did you see anyone while you were gone?
I saw no one.
No, same.
Interesting. And then?
And then I came back and sat down. I listened to music.
I listened to music as well.
And then we all started talking to each other, and then the train derailed.
And now we're here.
And why did you decide to take Amtrak instead of some other form of transportation?
The theater company paid for my ticket.
And have either of you ever been convicted of a crime?
No!
I haven't.
Okay. And did either of you know Jackie Parks personally? Were you related to her?
No?
Yeah. No, I didn't know her. I was agreeing with Bobby. Okay.
Mind if I search your bags?
Go ahead. Be careful, the bag was very expensive.
This is true. My beekeeping outfit's also in there, and I couldn't dare let down the apiary for another week. The bees would miss me too much.
Oh, be careful with the assless chaps, they're pure wool.
Oh. So tender on my cheeks. What if the author...
I'm sorry?
The author woman. She
writes detective novels, right? She spends her whole life plotting out murders in her books. What if she wanted to try murder out for herself in real life? Oh!
Interesting. That's all you have to say? I think it's pretty plausible. While you've been locked up in here conducting your little interrogations, we've all been interviewing each other, solving the mystery as a group, and she seems especially interested in this. I found her to be a little suspicious.
It's interesting. Thank you for your time. That'll be all for now.
Don't listen to me. Listen to me. You're a much better Sherlock. Better Sherlock.
Bobby Flynn. What are you hiding?
Please interrogate us.
No.
Why not?
Because I don't want to. I'm bored.
I have to say I sort of agree with him.
Please, everyone, we've been through this already. We should try and solve the murder mystery ourselves. The more brains, the merrier.
I have a great little joke about that. 3 brains walk into a bar.
Thank
One
you,
brain
Gertrude.
says to the
Glad
other
to
brain,
hear.
I still don't want to.
To interrogate or not to interrogate?
There is no question. Please, everyone, ask us questions.
How did you two first meet?
Oh, that is such a good story. So we were in this pretentious little French cafe. We were both on Grindr.
Questions related to the crime, please.
Does anyone have any water? I'm thirsty, and the vending machine only serves food.
Oh, poor dear. I should have an unused water bottle in my purse somewhere.
Thank you.
That's funny.
What now?
I don't know how this got here. I've never seen it before.
Are you sure?
Yes, boy. I have an excellent memory. Of that I am sure.
Okay.
There seems to be something written on it, but I can't quite make it out without my glasses. Which is fairly ironic, since the Perry Bottoms were once famed eyeball makers. Yes, in 18...
Hell?
Please, can we stop with this?
Shut up, Bobby. You want to hear this. Death awaits. Death prevails. Death shall come on swift wings. Look at you all sitting there, idiotic and stupid. Death will come. Death always comes. And so, my dears, pay close attention to your backs. Sleep tight. Watch out for the jaws that bite.
What the hell?
That message is a bit crap, isn't it?
This is very serious, Tony.
I agree. I'm just saying that whoever wrote it isn't a particularly strong writer.
Gertrude, are you sure this wasn't here before?
Yes, why would I be carrying around such an awful message? I've never seen it before in my life. Oh, whoever's doing this is very awful indeed.
You're just getting them?
But what does it mean?
I think it has something to do with death.
Think, everyone. Did anybody see anyone go near Gertrude's bag? The message is from someone in this room. Who had a chance to hide the message?
Anyone in theory, we're not always all here at once. When the detective takes one of us out, any one of us would have the opportunity to hide the message while everyone is distracted.
Good point, but there must have been something someone saw.
I haven't spent much time away from my bag since we got in here. Everywhere they go, I go.
Oh, does it contain the nuclear codes?
No, I just like the way they look.
I do wonder if this message has some sort of hidden meaning. The murderers in my books usually leave messages and clues to infuriate the detective. Of course, these messages usually lead to their downfall, but the murderers think they're clever for at least a bit of the time.
Well, what do you think the message is hiding, if anything?
So there's the repeated motif of death!
Again, it's not so much a motif as it is literally repeating the word death over and over.
But even so, death awaits! Death prevails! Death shall come on swift wings! I think wings. Wings could mean something. Birds! Birds have wings! Maybe the death will be an attack by birds? Ravens are associated with death? Maybe the death will come on the wings of a raven?
Oh look! There's death again!
It's all very curious. Usually these murderous messages are much more vague.
Ew.
Oh my god!
I know how to take a pulse.
Sylvia's right. I think Will is dead. Why is that music playing?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's my ringtone. I'll just ignore this.
How can this have happened?
Where's the detective? What's taking him so long? He should be protecting us.
This is why we have to conduct a thorough investigation.
What's going on? What's happened?
Will is dead! What?
How? You tell us he just dropped to the floor. Maybe he got a heart attack. This whole situation is very worrisome.
Saya. Our murderers claims another victim.
The ball man!
I don't believe it.
How could this have happened again?
What if we're next?
The murderer can't keep doing this!
I know, we have to stop them.
No, I mean, they literally can't keep doing this. There are only 5 of us left. The more they kill, the closer they are to being revealed.
So why would they risk it all just to kill Will?
This very thing happened to my husband's
What the
dog.
hell even are you, Gertrude?
Wait a second. Are we certain that someone murdered him? Maybe he was the murderer and he committed suicide.
Good thinking. That would mean we're safe. Oh, that would be tremendous. Is it true?
No. I'd already cleared Will of all suspicions, but his story is backed up by numerous other accounts by other passengers and co-workers. It is impossible that Will will be the murderer. I would stack my reputation on it.
And do you have much of a reputation?
Yes.
So, what happens now?
Now we're gonna have to run a tighter ship. I do have a question though. Where did Will get this water from?
I gave it to him. He said he was thirsty, and I'm just a helpful little soul. I think he liked it.
Yeah, he was overcome by it.
That's interesting. Where have you ever used this water bottle before?
I never reuse water bottles. I read somewhere that doing so can give you a combination of malaria, chickenpox, and severe drunkenness.
I don't think that's a thing.
I definitely read it in the newspaper.
I bet it was the Onion.
I need to do more investigating and interrogating. I will get to the bottom of this.
You will? Get to the bottom about Will? Okay, never mind.
There was also that letter. Sylvia, you still have it?
Oh, yes. We found this letter in Gertrude's bag threatening all of us.
Let me see. Sir, poorly written. Still, this is worrying. I'm gonna hold on to this for evidence from now on. I will also be collecting all of your bags from now on. Oh, and you'll also be under constant video surveillance. Can someone look at the bags?
I don't like being away from my bag. It's very fashionable.
Ma'am, 2 people have died. The clock, as they say, is ticking. I will keep all of you safe.
Well.
I will get to the bottom of this.
Well,
You have my words.
God, I hate men like him.
What do you mean?
So masculine, so confident, so self-assured. I bet he goes to the gym and lifts weights. Ugh. I like my men a little measly, a bit weak. I've known many men just like him who are complete assholes.
They're the worst.
Fuck men.
But also, fuck man.
you should have that on a t-shirt.
I do.
Obviously, this is very traumatic. I'm sure the more recent murder is on your minds.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Let me assure you that we're doing everything we can to solve Will's murder. Part of that involves figuring out what happened on the train. But the 2 events are inextricably linked. So if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the train ride.
All right.
What were your experience with the other passengers?
I didn't interact with many of them, except for Gertrude. She's absolutely insane, and she really loves her last name. Seriously, she's obsessed with it. You haven't spoken to her yet, right?
No, I haven't.
Well, don't mention her last name if you value your sanity. She started telling me about her deep and complex family history, and it seemed to go on for forever. I'm actually really glad to be in here right now. It's the first time today I've gotten away from the Perry the Platypus woman.
You mean Miss Perry?
I do.
Why were you going to Boston in the first place?
Oh, I'm visiting my parents for election day. That way, when the end times come, space-time is discontinued, and the world burns, we'll die together.
You mentioned you attend Wesleyan University, is that correct?
Wesleyan University.
What were you studying?
I'm majoring in theater and computer science.
Enjoying it?
Yeah, it's a blast. Nice campus, great professors, all that jazz the brochure talks about. The only real downside is the name of Boger Hall.
Let's move on to the more recent events. Bill's murder was horrific. But when did you first notice something was wrong?
To be honest, only when he fell down. We'd all been talking a lot before that. I guess he sort of went quiet right before, but I didn't notice until it was too late.
What were you talking about?
Oh, Bobby's trying to lead us all in an investigation.
Yes, he mentioned that. How's it going?
Super well. He cracked the case and saved everyone.
I see.
He's not a great leader, and to be honest, I was more interested in relying on you. You're a professional, he's a man barely with a plan.
I see. But how was the relationship between Gertrude and Will?
How do you mean?
Were they friendly? Or...
I guess he was rude to her a little bit, but we've all been pretty rude to her, so nothing unusual.
Anyone acting strange?
No, not really.
Alright, you mind if I search your bag?
Sure. The orange one right there. One match my phone, please.
All right. That should be all.
I'm beginning to think my nephew is behind all of this.
What do you mean?
He is a very rude sort of boy. And the more we speak about it, the more I'm beginning to think that none of us did it. And it's just the sort of thing that would be up his alley. He never wrote me thank you notes for his birthday presents. He overfed his pet rabbit to death when he was 16. And he's voting for Donald Trump next week. I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised to find him at the root of this awful event.
Gertrude, I don't think your nephew has anything to do with this.
Oh, but wouldn't it be such a great twist if he did? Sylvia, you should put that in your next book.
Absolutely not! My next book is already plotted out perfectly in exact detail. And even if it wasn't, that would be a terrible twist. A character previously unknown to the audience suddenly becomes the most important character at the end of the book? That's not clever. That's not even good storytelling.
No, but that's life.
Great. Now, if we could please get back to the murders.
Yes, I completely agree.
Thank you, Gertrude. Where are you going?
Don't mind me. I'm just going to see if I can't coax the life back into this vending machine.
Okay. I want to see if we can all consider something. We've all been asking who could have committed the murders. Maybe that's the wrong question. Maybe we should be asking why. Why? Exactly! Why? Someone killed both Will and Jackie. Why would someone kill those two people? What connects those two people in particular?
What do you think, Sherlock?
I don't know, Watson. I can't think of a connection between the two of them.
They're both dead.
Aside from that,
Everything all right?
The stupid machine won't give me my teddy grabs. I've paid it 3 times, and it simply will not budge.
Stop, you're going to damage the machine.
Well, fuck!
this is not good.
Just grab me.
Sorry, that was me. I can't see a damn thing.
What if the killer's gonna strike now?
Where's the light switch?
Over by the vending machine.
But the power was probably cut the lights, which will be useless.
Oh, you know what? I think my purse hit the light switch accidentally.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yep. That's funny.
Let me see. itsy-bitsy spider ran up the water spout. Down came the rain and shat the spider out. Out came the sun and dried the spider's body, and the itsy-bitsy spider was never to climb again. Tick-tock goes the clock, and all the children cry. Tick-tock goes the clock, you'll all just surely die. FYI, you're the spider.
It's not great writing, but I guess it's spookier.
This is bad. This is very bad. They're threatening us again. Why? Who could be this awful?
This is the kind of message that only appears when someone's about to die.
Really? Always? Oh no.
Oh, now I'm starting to freak out.
Everyone, please calm down. Who's ever doing this? Stop it right now! This is a very rude way to act!
Oh God. What am I now? I'm putting all the fun into Junior. I just had an idea for my pizza.
I can't die yet. The world needs my stories.
We're all going to die! Why us? Why me?
Why did I have to play with us torture us in this way? It makes it 10 times worse.
20!
What a live my life! Everyone!
Oh shit, 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 shit!
Oh my God.
Bobby, no! Bobby, please! Not you! Not you! Anyone but you! Bobby, I love you! You can't die! We're just getting started! We're going to live the rest of our lives together!
And we shall! But first, we need to figure out what we're gonna do.
Oh fuck you!
Seriously.
Don't you ever fucking do that to me again!
I just love the gaze.
I'm glad I finally got your attention. The levels I have to stoop to.
You're an ass.
That may be, but right now that matters very little. First, we need to figure out what we're going to do. Tony, I'm very sorry. I should not have put you through all that. I have an idea and a plan. I think I know who's behind all this.
Mind if I ask you some personal questions?
Shoot.
You write detective novels?
Yes, I do.
I love detective novels.
Aren't they sort of a busman's holiday for you?
Well, yes, but I enjoy trying to solve them. I don't necessarily read them on vacation, but they're great entertainment on the job.
I see.
Are you currently writing a book?
Yes, I am.
Tell me that.
It's about the murder of an old woman in Kansas. She's murdered under mysterious circumstances on a submarine.
A submarine in Kansas?
Yes, on the river. On board the submarine with her are a married couple named Arnold and Fatima, a journalist named Carol, her son, Terry, and a detective, Lauren. The perfect locked room mystery. The only clues Lauren has for solving the case are some missing mint leaves. These clues lead her to discovering an underground cult which is related to the murder. They're descendants from the founding fathers of America, so she has to go to Boston to investigate. That's why I'm going to Boston so that I can scope out the city before I write it. And she comes so close to solving it. But then she has to go to New York because months previously she had secured tickets to Hamilton. She wasn't going to pass up on that opportunity. And while she's watching the play, she hears James Madison say, "Put a pencil to his temple, connected it to his brain," and he wrote his first refrain, a testament to his pain. And then the verse says, "Well, the word got around this and
This is copyright infringement.
not quite the right lyric, but close." And at that exact moment, Lauren remembers the pencil she had previously forgotten, and she solves the case. Of course, she didn't want to wait because the show just started, so she waits until curtain to call the police.
So who killed the old woman?
Lauren did, of course.
Lauren the detective then, right?
Yes. She was drugged by the cult and forced to kill the old woman by stabbing her with a pencil. It's quite horrific, actually, but a thrilling adventure in Hamilton's subject matter triggers her memory, and the solution to the case comes flooding in.
God.
Great, isn't it? I'm really pleased with it.
Have you ever been tempted to commit murders?
God, what a question. No, I have not. I've always loved writing about the murders, but the murders themselves have never been my favorite part. My favorite part is solving the case. If I committed the murder, then I'd lose out on the fun in solving it. That wouldn't be any good.
I see.
Do you have any more questions?
May I search your bag?
Yes, go right ahead.
Which one is
That little guy.
little? have a theory. Bitter almonds. Cyanide.
That's not mine. I've never seen that before in my entire life.
Thank you for your
Wait,
time.
I swear though, that's not
That's
mine.
all for now. You may go.
Someone slipped that into my bag.
Stop! The cyanide in your bag is interesting, but it does not make you the murderer. Go!
I'm sure you can all figure it out. Think, everyone. Who had the ability to commit these?
An animal, perhaps a mouse. Mice are such pets, but they are small. One easily could have slipped inside the train and dropped in society.
Ugh, I'm surprised no one's murdered you yet.
Aunt Agatha Christie tried once, but I was doing a lot of weightlifting back then, so I knocked her out, no problemo.
And she was the only one who ever tried to murder you?
Well, there was my second son. He was angry that I named him Laline. So I sat him down and made him write, "I will not try and kill Mommy," until he knew it in his heart. And then I made him go to all of the neighbors and tell them why Laline was such a great name.
That's pretty cruel. There's nicer ways to deal with children.
Can we get back to my solution? God, you're all insufferable. It is impossible to solve this case with all of your yapping, but especially you. I'm trapped in a police station with Dolores Umbridge.
She sounds nice.
She's a character I invented.
I believe that was actually the incredible J.K. Rowling, but nice try.
I'm serious. I originated the character of Dolores Umbridge. Name, personality, everything. I wrote her as one of the villains in one of my books. And then I gave it to a good friend of mine, J.K. The next day she released Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Like most people, I went to my local bookstore, waited in line, and eagerly tore into the book. Imagine my shock when I saw that my amazing villain had been stolen!
She couldn't have done that in a day.
Oh, yes, she could, that hag. I know everyone loves her and her Twitter following, but she's a despicable woman.
Don't you insult J.K. She's my childhood hero. She's crafted so many extraordinary stories. Professor Quirrell, the Basilisk, the main character in A Casual Vacancy.
She's copied several of my plots. I originated Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Of course, in my book, the stone is used to bludgeon another character to death, kicking off the murder for the detective, but it's basically the same plot. I don't know why I ever trusted her after that, but I never did after she stole Dolores.
What does J.K. even stand for?
Justice Kennedy?
Justice Kagan.
Jesus Christ!
No, honey, Christ doesn't start with a K.
Can we please focus? Murders have been committed, letters have been written, and the solution is as clear as day.
Then tell us. Seriously, stop complaining and tell us.
She's right, honey.
Fine, I will. The solution is quite clear to me. There's only one person, and one person alone, who could have done all this. Who could have planted the letters, acquired the cyanide, and poisoned the drinks of two separate people? Who could have done all of this without raising any suspicion?
Who?
The detective! Robert! And furthermore, I know exactly how we're going to confront him.
Miss Perrybottom, thank you for your time.
And of course, happy to help.
Now, Perrybottom. That's an interesting last name.
I guess.
Do you know where it came from?
No. My husband. That's all I know.
Okay. Miss Perrybottom, would you mind describing your day for me from the beginning? Obviously, I don't expect you to remember every little detail.
Don't worry, I have an excellent memory. Good.
Go ahead.
Well, I woke up this morning with an absolutely awful migraine. So I took a few Advil. Don't worry, darling, only about 5 or 6. And then I went to the bathroom to brush my teeth. But when I got there, I realized I had already packed my toothbrush and toothpaste. and I was just scraping at one of my teeth with one of my fingers. So I stopped that, got dressed, and then I went to the kitchen to defrost a bagel. But then I realized I was out of cream cheese! Luckily, I had a tub of tzatziki, so I spread that on the bagel instead. Delicious! You really should try it sometime. I actually brought some with me for snacking in Boston, so if you want some, just ask.
Actually, I've changed my mind. I don't need to hear your version of the story. I have a life. So, let's just get to a few personal questions. I assume you're retired?
Yes, although I do work at the local AMC movie theater. They need someone with a strong arm to crank the old popcorn machine. So I volunteer a few times a week.
Okay, what'd you do before you retired?
Oh, I was a neurosurgeon. I work with all aspects of the nervous system. You may not know that it entails. It includes the brain, the spinal cord, the peripheral nerves, and the extracranial cerebrovascular system.
But that's quite a complex job.
Yes, but I was very good at it. I was the first woman ever hired at Mount Sinai Hospital's neurological department. I had to deal with a lot of sexist pigs and constant shit thrown at me. But figuratively and literally. But I persevered and had a long and successful career. Good for you. Yes.
I assume I know the answer, but did you know either of the victims personally?
No, unfortunately. Jackie was too young and Will was so sweet and gave me water on the train. I like water. It's such a terrible shame. They were both so young, so full of hope, so full of promise. What could compel someone to commit such an awful act?
I don't know, Gertrude. I really don't. I remember when I was in the war, we would always...
You were in a war? Which war?
The men and I, we came across this baby lamb one day. I'll never forget. It bleated. It pleaded with me in its eyes. Blue eyes. I didn't know it was possible for lambs to have blue eyes. It pierced me to my soul. I felt this lamb and I had a spiritual connection of sorts. I decided that I would free this lamb so that it was no longer trapped, alone, lost. But then one of the men noticed. The lamb was sitting on a landmine. We couldn't know for certain whether it was active or not. The danger was there. But we could have it potentially moving and blowing us all up. Suddenly that lamb I had vowed to protect, become a threat. The men and I silently looked at each other and agreed. I raised my gun, pulled the trigger, watched the light drain from his eyes. It was cruel. It was necessary. There was not a day that passed that I did not think about that lamb. The point is that sometimes the death is necessary. That for the life of me, I can't figure out why these words. So to me, it's utterly pointless.
Which war was this?
This is a dream I had last night. I've never even been overseas much as an award.
How fascinating.
Anyway, that's all I need for now. May I start your back?
Yes, of course.
Which one was that?
The fashionable one.
This is interesting.
One does have to be prepared for every situation. Okay.
Oh, you weren't lying. You really do have tzatziki.
Yes, would you like some?
No, don't seem particularly troubled by this discovery. Why would you have a conductor's uniform?
I have absolutely no idea, but I'm sure you'll figure it out.
Alright, I think that's just all I need for now. I'm pretty close to solving, so I'll be calling you in pretty soon.
I think it will be very exciting. Bobby has an idea of who committed the murder, and I think it will be great entertainment.
I look forward to hearing his ideas.
Bye-bye now.
I'm ready. You may enter. Welcome. Glad you're all still here. Obviously today's been very traumatic, but luckily it'll all be over soon.
Oh, I should...
You, Mr. Flint.
It was you!
No, why would it be me? That's ridiculous. I had the best bar mitzvah in the entire temple congregation when I was 18. Everybody loved me. I was very popular in my middle school, and I wouldn't murder anybody. I'm innocent. It's ridiculous.
That all may be true, but you have lied. When I first saw you, you looked familiar, but I couldn't place it. So I decided to look you up in the New York City Police database. And you know what? You don't exist. Then I remembered why you looked so familiar. So I did another search, and I found a certain Bobby Fox, son of Vincent Fox, head of the New York Fox crime family. And you know what? You two look identical. Isn't that interesting?
I suppose there's no point. You've got me.
That? I knew that. I guess you should have told him. Why did you decide to keep this from me?
Because what choice did I have? Fine, yes, I am Bobby Fox. I am a fox. Rawr. But I never had anything to do with any crime, I swear. I've always wanted to be one of the good ones, you know, like Al Pacino in the first Godfather film. He's all nice and sweet and friendly and wants nothing to do with the family business. I'm the same way.
By the end of the film, Al Pacino becomes head of the family and then murders her sister's husband.
Spoilers!
Well, nobody's perfect, and besides, that hasn't happened to me yet.
I know. Look you up. Haven't been convicted of any crime. You're not even suspected of any crime. Which is why you should have just told me. It's much better to hear these things from you directly than to have to look them up myself.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're part of the Fox family? They've done so many horrible things.
I know, but they're my family. I love them.
I think my nephew wants to be a fox.
Let's move on to another licensed which means turning to you, Miss Pearl.
It was Gertrude!
Shut up, honey.
You said that there was nothing interesting about your last name, but I distinctly remember you going on and on about it on the train rides.
She kept telling us about it in the waiting room.
Well, I was being so silly, but I thought the similarities were too striking.
Similarities? What similarities?
Perrybottom, which was my husband's last name, told me about the history on our first date. The Perrybottoms were a very influential group in Scotland, for years, for centuries even. Until one day, there was born a child who would lead to the death of 6 dozen, a stain upon the family name going all the way down to People's Choice Award winner Mel Gibson in his film Braveheart. Yes, in his name.
Okay. I don't care, but good to know you hid your last name because you're crazy.
The doctor said I was legally sane.
That's enough from you. I don't know what made you like this, but luckily we can move
Well,
on.
I was struck by lightning. It's a funny story. I was walking home from work one day.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I am the star of the show. It's my moment. And I remember everything, not some pathetic old woman who's old as Methuselah.
Actually, actually Methuselah Perrybottom. I'm 69 years old. I am nearly 78 going on 79. Thank you very much.
Don't care. Nobody got highlighted my job. Shut up.
So who did it?
For the longest time, I had no idea. I thought it was you, Sylvia, but that was just a guess.
It was you!
Literally, stop it.
No, let's not start making accusations. Why didn't I have a clue? It turned out I spent the entire investigation asking you all personal questions. But lying in an interrogation doesn't get you anywhere with a murder mystery.
Oh my god, this whole time you thought you were competent.
Me too. So, I knew all about the cyanides in Sylvie's bag, and the doctor's uniform in Gertrude's, but I didn't know how they mixed together.
So you didn't solve it. Marvelous.
Oh. But I did. You see, I seem to remember something Will had told me. By pure accident, I managed to ask him a relevant question. He said that there had been trouble with water in the last train ride as well. 2 train rides in a row with bad water? Seems like an awful coincidence. I guess the murderer had done a practice on the story. So I looked it up, and it turns out I was right. You see, the footage from today's train ride may have been deleted, but the footage from the previous day's train ride is still there. I was able to watch as a murderer somehow acquired cyanide, got a conductor's uniform, brought the conductor's uniform on board, slipped away to put it on.
Look, I don't care how they did it. Just tell us who killed them.
I still don't have a motive. No idea why Will or Jackie died. I do know who did it.
Who?
And the person was...
Hey, I'm Casey Jackson. I'm a film critic for the New York Post. I'm here to speak.
Oh, you're here about that murder on the train, right?
Yep, that's the one.
Gosh, what a story. It was everywhere for months. Have you taken the BuzzFeed quiz? I did. I got a Gertrude.
I got Jackie Parks.
Poor you. I can't believe that happened. It was incredible. Well, amazing story. Amazing, amazing. Oh my god, that story was so scary. Well, what are you here for?
I'm here to talk to the prisoner. Can you bring him to me?
Oh, right, of course. Thank you. Yes, I can easily do that.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm gonna wait over here.
Great, I'll catch them for you.
Great.
Hello.
Thank you for speaking with me.
Sure.
So your name is Marco, right?
Yes, but while I was on the train, I called myself Mara Ferrari. Far better than my actual name.
So you killed Jackie Parks and Will Pierce and planted the murderous letter.
I've confessed to as much. Except the letters, that wasn't me.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they spooked me. I had no idea where they were coming from.
Then who wrote them?
I only found out myself a few weeks back. I met a man named Martin O'Malley Perrybottom, the nephew of Gertrude. He was in prison for cat burglary. Apparently, he stole 200 cats from the Medina of Morocco. Anyway, he said that he had a psychic vision that Gertrude would end up spending time in a police station outside of New Haven. So he wrote the letters and planted them around the station to freak out Gertrude, hoping to give her a heart attack.
Wow.
Yeah, can't say I blame him.
Okay, that's interesting, I guess, but you didn't commit the murders. Why?
It all goes back to Wesleyan University. That's where I attended college.
Oh, that's why there's that poster back there, right?
No, I have no idea why that's there actually. Super weird choice for a prison poster.
Oh, my son goes to Wesley and I'm a huge fan and I forced him to put the poster there.
Great. Anyway, I told the detective that I was majoring in theater and computer science, but only half of that was true. Instead of theater, I was majoring in film. I thought the connection would be very easy to spot if I said I was a film major since a film director was killed. Jackie Parks was a film director, all right, but I have to say she wasn't a great one. She had this film blog where she'd review films, and this vlog was the manifestation of a cesspool of terrible ideas from her. She thought The Revenant should be nominated for Best Picture again this year because it was totally snubbed last year. She said Hot Fuzz was the worst film of the decade because she went into it thinking it would be about sexy stuffed animals. She said DreamWorks was better than Pixar. DreamWorks, the company behind such gems as Shrek the Third and Shark Tale and the Bee Movie. DreamWorks, the fucking Trolls movie. So she deserved to die. She had terrible opinions.
It's ridiculous.
Yep, it's a mystery wrapped inside an enigma, shoveled inside a puzzle box, and crammed inside your brain.
Hello? Oh, yes, of course. One moment. You have another visitor.
Send them in. This is perfect timing. There's someone I'd like you to meet. I think it will explain everything.
Good, because I'm very confused.
Everything will be clear soon.
Are you fucking kidding me? This is ridiculous. I'm done with it.
What the fuck?
Hey, Jackie. So, I assume you have some questions.
Yes, like, what the fuck?
First of all, I didn't want to kill Jackie. Yes, she does like the Bee Movie, but no one is perfect. And most importantly, we need more women in the film industry. Killing her would be an awful waste.
Thank you. You see, we pretended to have me killed for 2 reasons. Firstly, to kill Will.
Why?
Simple. He was an asshole. Oh, he seemed nice in person, but we both knew him from Twitter.
Twitter?
He was the worst sort of Twitter user. He'd tweet the same tweet, usually some form of verbal abuse, to dozens of people at a time.
That's just annoying to have clog up your timeline.
But he wasn't our main focus.
No, he was like an extra special surprise, the short accompanying the Pixar film.
The real target was you.
Was me?
Oh yes. You see, we had been trying to get a meeting with you for years, but you kept rejecting us. The Post always said you were busy, but we really wanted to talk to you, and so we concocted a plan to finally meet you. We knew we needed to make major news.
Not only that, major film news. You see, I'm a pretty famous female director.
Debatable, but sure.
People would notice my death, though.
So when I called you up, a film critic, offering an interview with the murderer of a film director, how could you say no?
You see, you're the worst sort of film critic. You hate all movies not made by men. You decided to boycott Rogue One because it had a female protagonist. You liked Carol, but objected to the lesbian elements of the film. You told your readers to go see Secret Life of Pets instead of Kubo because there was a cute little poodle. You hated the movie Hugo. How could you not love an adorable film with that even more adorable name?
Seriously, Hugo's the best name in the world. I wish I'd been called Hugo.
Basically, you hate really good movies and love really bad ones.
But you know what? There are plenty of film critics like that. We'll get around to killing them eventually. I'll probably end up getting rid of Jackie once the film industry is female dominated because she didn't like Hot Fuzz. But you were our main target. You were high on our list. Do you want to know why you were so high up? You once wrote an article advocating for cell phone use in a movie theater.
I mean, that's just not good manners.
You were detrimental to our industry, and so you must be stopped.
You must be killed.
But what about the guard? He saw you, he'll know you killed me.
Unfortunately, he'll have to be killed.
Every war has its sacrifices.
And make no mistake, this is a war. And you, my friend, just happen to be our next conquest.
Here's to our prosperity, our good health and happiness.